I know it's not good. It's not a great look to start this thing by sucking down a vape. However, mm, mm, occasionally, as is a side effect of some of my meds that I take, hello, Akiko, hello, Keith, hello, Russell. As is a side effect from my headache medication, sometimes my medications even with a heavy dose of Prilosec, can make me quite nauseous. And it's like, drink a bunch of water and suck down a bit of the cannabis to keep the nausea at bay, or just fucking be nauseous and miserable. So that's kind of the fun of chronic illness, is if it's not the illness, it's the medication that you're taking for the illness, and then you need to take another med on top of the med. So it's don't get sick. There's my advice for. Hi everyone. Quick, give me I'm plugging something else in over here, because one of you, if you're in here yet, I'm sure if you're not here, you'll be here soon. Well, Mento, as soon as you arrive, has just like, you guys occasionally will just go nuts on my Amazon wish list. Like, someone's like, I'm just gonna click purchase on everything, and just a bunch of this cute little glowy lamp that glows a bunch of different colors just arrived today, and I'm just having way too much fun tapping it. Thank you, Mendo, and a very fuzzy blanket. And for the record, we might manage to see more of Bonnie Cat because of this blanket. Because look, all my cats have their adorable little quirks, and one of Bonnie's adorable little quirks is, if you have a very fuzzy blanket, she's just it's a cat to catnip. She just this is her happy thing. Anyway, we might be able to lure Bonbon over more often, just from this very fuzzy, very adorable blanket. So again, thank you, Mento. I was tickled that these all arrived this morning. So um George Flynn over on Periscope just asked, "What's the chronic illness? What don't I have?" But in this case, the medication that makes me nauseous is, I take indomethacin for a chronic headache. The chronic headache. Yes, I did see it, Theo. I'll get to that in a second. The chronic illness. I have a permanent headache on the left side of my head called hemicrania continua. It's one of the trigeminal nerve headaches, and I'm on. And indomethacin is one of very few medications that they found that manages it. And basically, along with basically, there are only a few medications they found that really, really manages this, and Indo just works really fucking well. Dan, I'm glad that you noticed it. Yeah, this is, look, I understand I'm getting to a certain place in my life when this fits my aesthetic. I don't know if it fits my aesthetic, but I look at this and go, I think other people look at it and think it fits my aesthetic, so I needed to get it. I don't know what's happened to me. I'm getting kitschy Diet Coke pillows and just throwing it. Oh, it's on the front and the back. Anyways, I just felt like it would fit for that, and it's very cozy. But I thought it needed to be a part of the ecology here. Anyways, let's see, Terrence Spitzer. I just want you to know that my phone just lit up and said, "Time for a quickie," and I was slightly disappointed to find out it was not, in fact, a message from my fiance. This is a close second. Taryn, I'm sure you're lovely. I wish I could help out, but it's, like, you use this as a jumping off point. Shoot the fiance a message. Be like, "Hey, Cybabe inspired me. What you doing, baby? Just you. I'm trying to help you out here. Go make some magic happen." I'm trying, like, the more people I can help make some sex happen, for just to go get it, go get some. Anyways, George, I appreciate. Yeah, I hope you manage it well. The thing with chronic illness is it's Leslie, hey girl, hey. But the thing with chronic illness is, you don't get a choice. You just kind of have to manage it. Like, it's there every day, and you gotta fucking keep it at, like, if you're in pain all the time, you gotta do something to manage that, because you have to keep living your life, and pain wears away at you, and it's not it's gonna fuck up your personality. It's gonna fuck up your depression levels. It fucks with you. So you got to work with it. But, like, I'm not. I was valedictorian. I went to grad school. I have a master's degree. I worked for 8 years as a chemist before, or I was still working as a chemist when the headache started. Um, I'm not someone who if you'd told me when I was, in high school and doing all the things they told you were supposed to do, uh, I'm not someone who would have thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna be hitting a cannabis vape during the day to try to um, to try to manage my chronic illness. But yeah, like it's part of it. It works better to man. It works really well to manage other types of pain, but it also helps manage the nausea better than anything else I found. And that's just what you do what you got to do when you're chronically ill. So it's for anyone who thinks this stuff doesn't work, and they think it's just to get high, and that's what people who are in who deal with chronic illnesses are, we're just trying to excuse to. Dude, I wish it made me less drowsy and less high, and I could just get the anti-nausea side effects out of it some days because I would. I'm highly productive. I just less of anyways. Good stuff. It works pretty well. So moving on. Taryn, thanks, hi babe. I've been thinking of ways to incorporate you into our bedroom. I do what I can, Taryn. I do what I can. Anyways, uh, so I've only got I don't have a lot of time today. I've been now it brace yourselves. I've been considering cutting it down to one live stream a week. No, don't riot, don't riot. One live stream a week and more and an occasional second one, like having a second one as a guest a couple times a month. And it's mainly because I started a second one like guys don't get it. I don't see anyone getting mad obviously, but still like there's I started a second one when it was at the height of the pandemic, and it was like, oh, I can't get to all of the questions in the course of one session. It's like they're all spilling over into the next day, and I wanted to. I wanted to make sure I got to every question in the course of the weekend, and I also wanted a second time of the week when people could see this because I knew I had people, in different parts of the planet that couldn't get to it. Akiko, I'm in Discord all the time. You get time to see me. But the other thing is, I really wanted to focus more on getting content from that I'm writing over to audio and video. Like I did all the things I needed to get. Like I purchased all the accounts I needed to stock footage and stock video, all the things I need to make that happen. I wanted to get more content out to you in other ways, and and part of doing that is making sure I have the time available and like knowing basically when I know that my weekend is going to be, Friday is going to be the stream. Saturday is going to be try to get a column done and maybe a second one done. A Saturday and Sunday is going to be wake up early, do the stream, and then do another column. It eats up 3 days entirely. And I get it. The stream doesn't seem like a ton of work, but of course I get up early before this. Have to make myself look presentable, and most of the time, of course, throw a wig on it. But today I'm having an okay hair day. I wanted to make this shit. Sometimes my natural stuff looks okay, and I feel anyways. But I want to make the second stream an occasional thing. Dan, no, the patron streams are going to be, you guys pay for those. So there's still going to be 2 patron streams a month. But Friday night stream is going to stay as it is. I wanted to, but I wanted to keep the Sunday stream as a thing that we kind of do when I have a special guest. So I kind of wanted to take I think what I want to do is take the Sunday stream down to twice a month, which I think is going to help me out a lot. And that's partially because there are twice a month when I have a patron stream, because I have 1 week when I have a patron stream that's that is our editing session, and we have once a month when we have our patron stream that's our hang out and call our senators, patriotic prank calling session. And it's between all of them, it gets very busy. And if I ever want to do all the video content and all the audio content that I want to do along with the Moments of Science, because people have been asking, can you put these out as audio? I've been dying to do these as videos ever since week 1. So anyways, it's basically what's happening is we're doing the Sunday ones. I think we're gonna I think we're gonna start doing these as every other week. And that's look, it's just and we're gonna and the every other week ones are gonna be as guests are going to have guests on them. So there's gonna be less but higher quality. It's our Akiko, are we is it still sad face or is it less sad face? Are we good? Is it only a little pouty face as opposed to tears? Are we get it's Peter, I love the idea of patriotic prank calling. You can come and join the patriotic prank calling. If you just go to the link is below. It's patreon.com/SciBabe. Along with getting I'm giving you a quick call to action along with getting every single daily moment of science mailed straight to your inbox, so you don't have to deal with all the arguing in the just like there's not too much arguing in the comment section on Patreon, but along with not having to come to Facebook, along with not having to deal with maybe I'm going to miss them every day, it just comes straight to you. Plus, when I post the columns over on Patreon, it's there. This is an extra little thing. You get like an extra little commentary from me. You get all the extra little tidbits that I found while I was researching it. Like here's the like the stuff that got left on the cutting room floor. Yesterday there was kind of a preview of the column that's coming out today because I find extra little things that I'm like, ooh, this is going to make for another good column. So if you want to see kind of the stuff behind the column, come on over to patreon.com/SciBabe. Lots of good stuff. And if you do a year-long membership at once, you get a 10% discount on the year. Look, I'm just saying, I'm worth a muffin and a latte. That's all it takes for a year worth of this, and plus 2 extra streams a month. And there's patriotic prank calling. Plus, along with, I'm just saying, you're an adult. It's fully all of your reps numbers are listed. It's fully legal to call them and tell them how much you think they're fucking up the country. That's why their numbers are listed. And we also just to put some positivity out there, we call at least 1 rep a month and tell them what a great job we think they're doing. So just to make sure we're putting out some goodness into the universe too. patriotic prank call. Oh, I like that. It's look, Akiko, we'll add in. I'm just saying, look, after you've gotten your vaccine, it's look, just before anyone freaks out about this, because if you gradually want to sink into my life, there are a few ways people who've met me via SciBabe have done this. Like I met my husband via SciBabe, all of it. It's the COVID, obviously. All of my website administrators have met me via SciBabe. There are a few easy ways to do it. 1, don't be a creep. 2, hang out a lot via the interwebs. And 3, just be a person that I'm like, oh, you seem like you'd be fun to hang out with. I'm definitely like, and Akiko happens to be local-ish to me. I'm like, I'm after we're both vaccinated, I'm planning on stalking you. So just get used to it. It's just don't worry. You'll see enough of me. Just 2 times less a month on here so that I can get more video content of me doing other things. It's going to help. This is for you and for me. Anyways, so that's where we're at. So I just hold on. But yes, buddy, what is it, boy? It's he thinks he's saying he thinks this change will be for the better for all of us, and if it's not, that I'll come back those other 2 Sundays a month. So it'll be okay. It'll be fine. Crap, I'm disqualified. Look, I'm just saying, eventually there'll be meetups. We're all going to be back in the world again. It's going to be fine. Let's see. Tammy Amano asked, do you think we'll be needing a yearly shot like the flu for COVID? I think and look, it is far too soon to know for sure. Anybody who tells you otherwise is lying, and this is 100% speculative. Yes, but all that said, yeah, we're gonna likely need either a yearly or once every 2 to 3 years shot for COVID. Like I think it seems to be mutating fast enough that we're going to need both because of the mutation rate and because we're not sure how long the immunity from this lasts. We're likely gonna need regular boosters to it, and that's fine given how fast they are at making an mRNA vaccine. It seems like we'll be able to keep up with it. It's just getting shots into arms and getting people vaccinated on a wide enough scale to be effective, as we've seen, getting people who need them vaccinated in a timely, getting people to agree to be vaccinated. That seems to be tough. That seems to be hard. But yeah, I definitely think that there's going to be an effort to get people vaccinated regularly. I also think because we've seen already a couple strains of this emerge that seem to be more highly infectious, and I could be misremembering this, but I read last week that there was a strain of this that after people had been infected with one of the earlier strains, and I think it was a South African strain. Double check me on this, of course. Oh, someone just asked, please have Z on again. It's, you know what? I'll schedule him for next. I will shoot him a message after. I'd say after this is over, but like I have other shit to do right now. But yeah, I will schedule him to be on ASAP because we love Z here. But yeah, there's this is completely how I lose a place in what I was saying. I pay attention to the comments and lose myself. Anyways, vaccines. Where was I with that? Shit. But yeah, there's going to be there'll definitely be a need for some sort of an annual. The strains. Somebody had immunity from getting one of the earlier strains of this, and didn't seem to have any immunity to. I want to say it was a South African strain of it. So we'll see how that pans out in upcoming months. We'll see if there are strains that mutate in ways that make it more infectious and or more lethal. I want to say again, the South African. I keep forgetting which one it was. There was one report that I saw late last night that was that there was one strain that was more lethal, or that seemed to be affecting younger people, like people in their 20s and 30s more. But again, it's early in this strain's development, so we're not sure how, we're not sure if it's that it's making them, giving them severe cases but not killing them. Like, it's unclear what turn this is taking and if the vaccines are giving them immunity. So it's a lot. But yeah, we're seeing part of us not staying home and like not doing the things that we could have done to try to prevent the transmission of this virus. It's left us with a lot, with more generations of mutations of this thing than we with more generations of mutations than we would have had if people had, been a little more responsible and stayed home. So it's not that this thing wouldn't have eventually mutated like this, but we'd be a little bit less behind if we hadn't assholed this as hard as we did. But we assholed this pretty damn hard. So, anyways, I'm just poking through the comments, seeing we're talking about people getting vaccinated. Yes, hold Trump up for capital murder. I'm not sure. Okay, I'd be down for that. I'm not sure what that's akin to, but yeah, this is a perfect. Oh, did everyone lose audio or just one person? Not that. That's not what I was looking for. This one. Yeah, this is here's part of the reason why I don't have a ton of faith that we'll ever either get this under control or that we'll get this into that will get this wiped out. Like, I've seen articles discussing the future of COVID and what's going to happen. That they glad it's been confirmed, guys. I'm glad that we've seen some articles saying, what's going to happen in the future? Is COVID going to go away? Are we going to have a post-COVID world? Is is this going to be like smallpox where we can eradicate it? That doesn't seem to. It's unlikely. Because smallpox was only really contagious when you had symptoms. It wasn't. There were diseases that you could that it was much easier to eradicate something that you can track, that you can see when it's infectious like that. And the other thing is, they had to basically vaccinate fucking everyone on the planet for smallpox to eradicate it. That it's easier somehow. I'm just saying it was easier to get everyone vaccinated in an era before all the misinformation on the internet, and it was like I don't know. Maybe it was just easier to vaccinate everyone when you're talking about a disease that killed 1 in 3 people that infected. But like I wish that people would take the whole 1 in 10 give or take chance of long-term or chronic illness from this just as seriously. But part of this is this is a good point, because I looked into this just a little bit, and this could probably be a good little moment of science. So there was, I want to say it was was it the breakout of it in Russia that I'm trying to remember, but there was there was an epidemic in the 1890s that was suspected to be a coronavirus. It's now one of the endemic coronaviruses, and of course, it was much more deadly at the time. And sometimes these things become more deadly, but like generally, Russia. Thank you for confirming. Yeah, they tend to become over time, more transmissible, less deadly. But every so often, as is the case with swine flu, that I believe 1918 was a swine flu. Every so often it will spike. It will, over years of being quote just the flu, it will become a pandemic year of it being a much more deadly virus again. But that's how these things go, is they wax and wane, they mutate, they become worse some years and less harmful other years. So this is gonna be a couple of years of hell while we kind of figure out what we're dealing with. And I mean, we've gotten the fact that we have it wrangled this well within a year for it being this nutty of a virus is amazing. But it's also like, we don't know what this thing's going to look like in 2 years. Like, it's knowing that it's changed this much in a year, and that there's already a strain, at least from preliminary reports, it seems to be affecting younger people more. It's like, oh, this seems very 1918-y, because that was what happened after the first wave with 1918. Because we love to not promote, but we'd love to have that popular myth that part of the reason that there was a second wave in 1918, of course, was because people are like, oh, it's going away, we can take off our masks, and then there was a second wave. That's part of it. Of course, you can't spread a virus without people being in the same room breathing on each other. But part of the reason there was that second wave was because it mutated, and became, I'm not sure if it became more infectious or not, but when it mutated, it suddenly was affecting young people in their 20s, 30s, my age, much more. And it became something that killed, kind of in a very similar fashion to COVID, that your immune system having that overreaction and going into cytokine storm and getting your lungs would be like, instead of attacking the virus, I'm going to attack me. And that was how you would how young, quote, healthy people would get a very quick death from the flu in 1918. It would be over within sometimes hours or just a couple of days from the time of infection. And it mutated over time, and it became something less than that. But it's going to be some time of this disease likely ebbing and flowing until perhaps it becomes less than this. We don't know. And that's the thing, is we're also dealing with, we've seen, this is one of a couple coronaviruses that have come out that have been, much more lethal than the endemic ones that we have now. So we know that one other endemic one, it's likely that one of the other endemic ones started off much more deadly. But it took some time for it to mutate down to something that's just a cold. So it's going to be a few years. We just don't know. And me making predictions, like basically if anyone tells you I know what's going to happen to this disease in the next few years, whew, they are lying. Nobody, we can speculate. We can say, here are the 16 different possible disease courses. None of us know. We're throwing darts. Some of them are completely they're bouncing off the wall. Rune Nielsen is saying, I'm genuinely worried about the total loss of collective wisdom lost from baby boomers to kick the bucket 10, 20 years before they would have under normal circumstances. They just retired. We needed their expertise to do a smooth transfer. Are we sure Gen X and after are adult enough to handle the climate crisis on their own? I'm sorry, but like, no, are you fucking kidding me, Rune? Really? Are you fucking kidding? Like, I don't want to make fun of you for this comment, but like, are you like, okay, boomer? Like, fuck you. Are we sure Gen X and after are adult? Hold on, how old are boomers? Let's just fucking go through that for a second, because that is some shit you just that dropped in there. Oh, I can't let that go. Like, see, how old are boomers? Like, do you know how old millennials are? My God. All right, so boomers are 57 to 70 fucking 5 years old now. All right, and do you understand that we don't need the generation that fucked up the planet, that undid all the regulations, that protected you guys made the EPA. Actually, no, Nixon built the EPA. Nixon was not a fucking boomer. The generation before you guys made the EPA, and then you guys are like, we're gonna start stripping back. Okay, I get it, not all boomers, but if you guys start going not all boomers on me, I'm on a rant right here. But a boomer just went on this cute little rant going, can you guys handle you guys might need our wisdom before. All right, like, I get it. It sucks that people have died from your generation, and we had to try to talk you guys into not going out. Millennials and Gen Xers were better at not going out during this than the boomers. We had to try to talk you guys into thinking that this was real because so many of you guys listened to fucking Trump and Fox News, and we had to talk you into thinking that this was real. You guys think we need your wisdom? You don't think science is real? Really? How did those words go from your brain to your fingers to the internet? Are we sure Gen X and after are adult enough to handle the climate crisis? You made the climate crisis. Oh my God, that was the boomeriest thing I have ever read. I'm genuinely worried about the collective loss of wisdom from the baby boomers. I am not. I'm worried about, you know what? I'm glad. I don't want a single boomer to die from this disease, but I'm also not worried about the loss of fucking wisdom. Okay? I'm looking forward to Gen X and millennials and Gen Z managing this shit, because it's going to be a lot better when the generation that was once upon a time peace, make love not war, that turned into the give it to me, it's mine generation is gone. Okay? Like it's this hyper capitalist. I don't worry, I got it taken care of generation that fucked up everything. You can go. It's sweet. Like I just really just nah. Just we're not. I'm not hearing it. How would you deal with the loss of? We'll deal just fucking fine. Just fucking fine. Oh, did you just, let's see. It's pronounced Rune. Oh, I'm Gen X. I'm not, let's see. I'm not impressed with, it's pronounced Rune. That's nice. And I'm not impressed by the total maturity level of civilian society today. Consumerism has completely undercut our ability to make sacrifice before rewarding ourselves short term. Um, it's yeah, I'm not sure what being a veteran had to do with that. I'm not impressed with military not society. What's the word? I'm not impressed with it's I'm look, my brother was in the military, and like I'm just saying, I'm not impressed with military culture, I think is the word I'm looking for. I'm not impressed with that myself. So, it's kind of hyper fascistic. And I don't see why this is a point that you thought was going to work with me. But you guys are it's why was that a point that was supposed to work on me? Go away. Go away. We're going to lose the boomers. They have you brainwashed if you think that we need the people that fucked everything up to help fix this. Shoo. Shoo. There's some, like, the collective wisdom. The collective wisdom. Like, it's just a very weird, like, look, again, I don't want to, I don't want to lose them. My mom is one of them. But we're not losing the entire group of, we did not lose the entire group of them. We lost a tiny percentage of them, quite unfortunately. And if they'd listened, if they'd actually paid attention to the science, they wouldn't have, if they'd worn masks and they hadn't listened to the fucking assholes telling them there's no pandemic, so more of them would have lived. Like, I don't think I'm just saying. It's thank you for this, Jimmy Lee. Just thank you for your service, veterans. But being a veteran doesn't make you're talking about great. You're. This is not the argument I wanted to get into. Anyways, it's yes, Akiko. Not all boomers is a thing, because some boomers think that the word boomer is a slur. Like, look, Gen X and millennials and Gen Zers, we don't think that calling our generations is a slur. So, like, you guys need to get over it, boomers. I'm just sorry. It's what your generation was called. It's millennials, but you guys have been throwing at us as an insult for like the last 20 years. All we did was mention what your generation was called. Just get over it. Anyways. So we're just gonna, that's brutal, Laura. People who conducted the Sand Creek Massacre were veteran. Yeah. Anyways, so, but look, I didn't let's get back on track here. I didn't mean to turn this into any sort of a this wasn't where this was supposed to go today. It's Teresa just I've seen this before here. Teresa just claimed we are the science behind the polio vaccine. No, Teresa, you're the people who received the polio vaccine. The generation that made the polio vaccine was the generation before yours. Look up how old Jonas Salk was. You guys think you made everything. Nah, that was the generation before yours and the generation after yours. You guys just took from everything else. You guys are the parasite generation, if we had to name you anything. My God. You didn't invent it all. You received it all. You sat there in the middle of it all and managed to benefit from it. And then sat there. You were born on third and thought that you guys hit a triple. Okay? Ugh. My God. Just the conceit of some of you boomers. No truer words have been spoken. Tommy Chong was the best boomers had. Tommy Chong and Martha Stewart were truly the best of them. I'm just saying. Another example of look, I'm just saying, no, my God. Another example of boomers giving themselves more credit than they are. You know, maybe that's why boomers invented the participation trophy. I'm just saying, why did why did why did boomers blame millennials for the participation trophy? We didn't first make them, sell them, profit off of them, give them out, and then blame the people we gave them to for receiving them. How is that our fault? No kid ever walked away from a thing happy from getting a participation trophy. You guys made that shit. How is that our fault? How is that our fault? Let's see. I see CB Wayne saying, "Proud to be a boomer. We fought in Vietnam," which at the time seemed to be a good thing. CB, like, I don't know if you're a veteran, which if you are, thank you for your service, but I don't think anybody thought fighting in Vietnam was a good thing. Like that, how is going there and doing what we did good? Like the constant fight against communism, all it ever did was kill a bunch of people that didn't deserve it, just to fight someone else's war that killed 58,000 Americans. Like that just, that's it. Oh, Teresa, I'm on your little bitch shit. Oh, sweetie, that's not even the worst I've been called this hour. Bless your heart. And this all for just pointing out that you were wrong about who invented the polio vaccine because of your conceit, because you can't deal with the fact that you were told because you just you're back. Yeah, the reason I know that your generation didn't invent it is because my mom's a boomer, and the only thing she remembers about the polio vaccine is being 5 years old and her parents being wicked fucking happy about the vaccine being invented so that she wouldn't get polio. So no, you guys did not invent it. Oh my God, crazy people. Oh, that's funny. 45 years later, and communism has been eliminated. So yep, the Vietnam War worked out. Oh, I guess this has turned into my bitch about boomers and capitalism day. Look, I said I wasn't going to do a long stream today, but we got onto subjects that I enjoy. But look, it's not that I have a problem with the boomers as a whole. Obviously, I spent a lot of time on the stream telling boomers to fucking mask up and do the things that they needed to do to survive the pandemic, because they were an at-risk group just by virtue of how of their age. And the number of and the number of times I saw that there was pushback, because this is the generation, this is the largest generation, just because of the generation older than them has in larger numbers started to unfortunately die off. This is the largest generation of Fox News watchers, of people that are consuming bad information about the pandemic, of people that pushed back and was like, you're just buying into whatever, you're taking whatever science says, you're brainwashed by really. So look, I wanted the boomers to make it, every last fucking one, even the ones that I disagreed with on things. But coming in with the comments that boomers fucking made everything, and that we're losing their collective wisdom, nah. I'm sorry, but Gen X, they're in their late 50s. They've been to they've had enough time to go to grad school and to be doctors and to do all the things you need to be an actualized fucking human being. I believe our VP is a Gen Xer. I'm just saying, millennials are in our late. The oldest millennials are 40. Why? How could? I'm just saying again. I want the boomers to live as long as possible. My mom can't die a single day that I like before me. She needs to live to be 120. I'm just saying. But the self-fucking importance that the planet can't spin a single day without you. Really? My God. Anyways, just had to just stop it. Fucking stop it. Anyways, I did not, I had to go off in that little, go off in that little fucking ramble. So wasn't planning on doing that. Let's see. So I see somebody go, I see an interesting ramble on thalidomide from Leo here. Thalidomide was pushed on man and young women. I think that's what you're trying to say, to alleviate birth pain in women. It was actually not, that's not why it was pushed. It was to, so originally it was, so I wrote a daily moment of science on this a while ago. It was for morning sickness. It was actually pretty good at this. It was also a non-narcotic sleeping medication. That was the other thing that it was prescribed for. Many doctors recommended it to I'm not sure what country you're from, Leo, but it was never it was never approved for use in the US. So I don't know if your mom's telling that, like, it's if you lived in another country, then it could have happened, but like it was never even approved here. So that's just an interesting bit of thing. But no, it wasn't to make birth. It wasn't to alleviate birth pain. It was to alleviate morning sickness. It was also, again, non-narcotic sleeping medication. So were you were in the US, or you weren't from the US, Leo? But yeah, there's no way doctors in the US could have pushed it on her. So she might have told you that just as a tall tale. That's a thing that parents do to us sometimes. Like you're in Australia, I got you. But I am very glad for your sake that your mom did not take it, because yeah, that looks like it made people's lives a lot harder, to say the least. Michael Sims, it was approved in the UK. Yeah, it was approved in I believe Germany first, a handful of other countries across Europe, and yeah, Australia. No, it was there were a lot of things that it was kind of hailed as a miracle pill. Like basically we didn't understand that, if it was safe for a human, just, as like we didn't understand anything about how something could be unsafe in utero, or hindering infant development. So that's unfortunately what thalidomide taught us, was that this was a new this was a new thing that we had to test for, was how does a drug affect a fetus? And as comes up so often on this page, is that regulations are written in blood. So it's not that thalidomide killed anyone, but man, it did fuck up a lot of lives. So that's I'm really glad that your mom chose not to take it. Now it's there are people who obviously whose parents used thalidomide, who have gone on to live really, really full lives, but like, again, speaking of someone who has chronic illnesses, there's nothing about having a chronic illness that makes your life easier. So I can't look at someone who has who has their arms that have been truncated from thalidomide and go, that can't be easy. But oof. Anyways, glad that was anyways, scrolling through. So Laura Kellner said, I knew an American guy who I remembered saying he was the thalidomide baby. Now there are a couple chances for that to have happened, possibly. I had read accounts that doctors were given, even before it was approved, some doctors were given samples of it to give out, because, hey man, the 50s, right? Just take what I'd heard of. I'd read some accounts of that, so I'm not sure how true that was. But oh man, oh, thank you for that, Michael. Apparently 80,000 people died post birth due to it. Jesus. So, yikes. That's a statistic I was not aware of. It's always fun to find out these. Anyways, so here's a quick heads up for the moment of science that I sometimes I'll start writing something and realize it's going to take much more research than I have time for in a day, and I'll get back to it later on. The one I'm starting on for today, and that I mentioned, if you're already one of my patrons, you've seen this, but if you're not one of my patrons, you should become one of them so you can read more about this. Right down below, patreon.com/SciBabe. I'm totally worth the cost of a latte and a muffin. Totally. I'm definitely worth a muffin at least. Anyways, but this so one of the things that I found yesterday. So yesterday I wrote about the guy who implanted goat balls. This is what I'm going to leave you with for today because I really have to get going. And I just like I know I've been a little cantankerous today, and I really appreciate that the person who I got cantankerous about, Renee. I apologize that I look, I'm kind of a cunt. I apologize. I thank you for putting up with me. You brought a lot to the conversation. You were a delight. I appreciate you. Anyways, but back to this. So yesterday I wrote about John Romulus Brinkley, and I fucking love that his middle name is Romulus. But I see you guys saying that you all got your doses. Yay! Ryan got his first Pfizer dose. Moving on. And someone else got their second Pfizer dose. Woo! Yes, Stuart. Anyways, every single vaccine in an arm is a victory. So goat balls. God, if someone's never been to this channel before, they must be like, "What is going on with this girl?" So so the John Romulus Brinkley, easy way to define him, fake doctor, got his. It's back in the day, like we weren't quite sure which which medical schools counted as medical schools back in the day, right? And like it was a slow process of becoming a doctor, being like an apprenticeship, to being a formal school setting, to getting rid of the apprenticeship system altogether and it turning into a school system. And at one point, early in the 20th century, basically the American Medical Association, that was just starting to be a thing, was like, we got to figure out which of these medical schools are for real and which ones are fucking bullshit, right? So they had this guy, last name Flexner, put together the Flexner Report. And he went, to all the different medical schools and all the different places that claimed to be medical schools. Not quite the OG Rand Paul, kind of, but Rand Paul's a, full of shit guy. But went through all the different medical schools, and like some of the stuff he did was really good. Like he went to places that were like homeopathy's a thing, and he was like, nah, and got rid of a lot of like the bullshitty schools, like the eclectic medicine school, the one that the goat ball doctor guy went to. And like part of the reason I looked this up was because I wanted to know, like it's hard to say if someone is a quack for their time if you don't know what the medicine at their time looks like. Like calling an alchemist in the year 200 a quack, it doesn't make any sense if everyone else at their time is doing the exact same thing. Like they might be peddling something that's complete bullshit, but if every single person like thinks that this totally works, hello, an angry young man from the Twitchiverse. It's if everybody thinks this works, how bullshit can it be, right? So I was trying to figure out, what did medical school look like then? Well, eclectic medicine was not entirely, like it hadn't completely been it was sort of on the outs, but it also it was one of the things that had been debunked. Like the Flexner Report, that he had looked at eclectic medicine schools, and specifically the one that Brinkley went to, and was like, nah. The labs were, I believe the phrase was, woefully inadequate. There are opportunities for clinical evaluations and clinical work with patients just basically non-existent. Flexner was like, fuck you, this isn't medicine. But something else that I found out that really stuck with me, and what was interesting was it was very in line with modern skepticism in terms of like how we approach and what we say about different kinds of medicine, which I thought was interesting. But one thing that was just so revealing to me, and that look, I know this might surprise some of you guys, but I'm white, very very pale person, very very Caucasian. One of the things, and sometimes there are things that I don't think about or see because of it, and this just wouldn't have occurred to me until I saw this. But also, like, because we don't think about, how did the medical schools come to be? How do these things form? When the Flexner what report happened, when this all went through, and when he was deciding which medical schools got to stay as medical schools, there were at the time 7 medical schools that were educating specifically Black doctors, because that's part of the reason why HBCUs became a thing, because the white colleges would not accept Black students. So there were 7 schools that were educating Black people to be doctors. And they found all but 2 of them were not adequate, and shut down all but 2 of the schools that were training Black doctors, leading to a huge shortage in Black doctors that still persists to this day. They also, Flexner said that Black doctors were to be subservient to white doctors, and that they should only treat Black patients. This was about 100 years ago. Like, that's not. There are people still alive who were alive then. Anyways, so that's a thing that happened in our medical history that I didn't know about until yesterday, and I was really horrified by, and I'm gonna write an MOS on it. And I'm not sure how deep I'm gonna have to research to get like a full picture of it. But I had no idea that that's a thing. But like, whenever I hear somebody say, why, like, whenever I hear one of my fellow really fucking pale people push back and go, why does representation matter? It's like, I'm not a racist, so I can totally I'm not going to do anything, but maybe representation matters so that we don't end up with a shortage of Black doctors in the room for a fucking century. Those are the types of things that happen and that you don't hear about. And I was, like, it just never would have. I don't know if it ever would have crossed my plate if I wasn't just trying to verify what med school looked like in 1920. So that was random and kind of threw me for a loop yesterday. So John McClancy just asked, why are boomers crazy? Lead poisoning from the gasoline. That's here's something else. Leaded gasoline, I believe, wasn't made illegal until and I mean, it's still technically, we still use leaded gasoline in airplanes, in certain kinds of airplanes. But it was still legal until I was born. I believe it was 80s. There were different kinds of legislation in different countries, but I believe like one place made it illegal in 86. Another one made it completely illegal in 94. But like, there were like the legislation to like in the 1970s was when they made it that gasoline. 89. Thank you for that, Jerome. So it was made illegal in 89, or outlawed, like, for the most part by then. And lead in the atmosphere and lead in the atmosphere has gone down drastically since then. But like, it was in the early 70s that they made it basically a law that an alternative to leaded gasoline had to be available at everywhere. And so lead in the air, in the environment, started going down almost immediately. But it took until they were still just like, fuck it, I'm gonna use the leaded gas. Some people were like, not give me the lead. So, my God, I'm just saying, like, we're a species that, given the chance and given the lack of regulation, will fuck up absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. So anyways, I wanted to stop on the note about the Flexner report. The Flexner report. So I'm probably going to do some type digging on that later today. It's, again, like, sometimes I'll get into something and realize I have to do way more research than I realized to make it work out. So I'll see how if that ends up being my MOS today. But anyways, I gotta take off. I'm giving my roommates chemical peels, which is probably a dumb thing to do. But look, we've been stuck at home for a year. We want to reemerge into the planet pretty. So that's the thing we're gonna do. Anyways, it's been I don't know how this thing turned into an hour so quickly. So here we go. We still need to see if we can, like, I think we've been doing the screen licks for a year now. I think we've sufficiently proven that we cannot spread COVID through a computer screen, but just in case, I'm going to keep on just looking at that screen, just in case it's a thing that can happen. Anyways, Jerome, I'm glad you will be back next week. That seemed definitive. Anyways, I'm gonna take off. If you guys want to see what my face looks like as it's burnt, Akiko, I heart you too. Anyways, if you guys want to look, I'll throw pictures onto Patreon of my face burning off through the course of the week. That's the thing I'll do. You have to join my Patreon for that. Anyways, so my quick little calls to action. If you just want to make a one-time donation to make sure that I keep the Psy pets all happily vaccinated and fed, which is of course the thing that I would do without your donations anyway, but please help anyways. It's my PayPal's below. And again, Patreon is like, you get something for that. It helps keep the column. It helps support the column. It helps support me. It gets you extra stuff. You get extra things from that. You get when videos come out, they come out. And again, I'm working on it. These things are happening. But when things come out, sometimes you get them early. You get extended blogs on there. And again, 2 extra streams a month, one of which is a live editing session and one of which is patriotic prank calling of our senators. But yeah, come check that out, or just, go to my Amazon wish list and buy me fuzzy things and stuff with kitty ears. I love that. I love it so much. I mean, or don't. Just hang out here. Just come hang out here once or twice a week. Anyways, I love you guys. I will see you next week. Bye.